Welcome to the Romance Podcast. Let's see. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Merry Christmas season.
Yeah.
Happy Hanukkah season.
Happy holidays.
Happy Merry everything, okay?
Yes.
We've been gone for a little bit because of, let's see, if you heard a podcast earlier in our season, it was called Lucky Roman because, long story short,
You have a horseshoe up your ass.
there you go.
It was implanted at birth.
I've been known to be a little lucky in my life, okay? This is proving to be a very unlucky week for Mackenzie. The first thing I want to say is this weekend was supposed to be her birthday celebration.
Yeah.
Watching her favorite artist, Shakira, play at the United Center here in Chicago. Shakira decided to cancel her entire arena tour and upgrade them to stadiums.
Which, okay, we'll just go see her when,
Yeah.
she's in, at Soldier Field.
She did that in every city except for Chicago.
She did not rebook Chicago.
In Chicago, she just canceled the show, period.
She's not coming.
So your birthday present that I worked very hard for was supposed to be this weekend. I had it all planned out.
I should be, you don't understand, like, the belly dancing outfit that I was going to purchase for this show.
I can only imagine. So that kind of kicked
I
off
can only imagine.
this week and past couple weeks being kind of unlucky for you.
Yeah,
I wish I could say that was the worst thing that happened to you the past couple weeks, but it wasn't.
No.
Why don't you explain what's going on?
So when we were going to, actually on the very evening
Yes.
that we were going to record our last podcast, because right now it's a bi-weekly podcast.
Yes.
So we were going to put out an episode the week before Thanksgiving. That made sense. That works out.
It was a Thursday.
Yeah.
We actually had a bit of good news earlier in the day.
Yeah.
And so we went out to celebrate at one of our favorite restaurants.
We had really positive energy
Yes.
going on.
It was a great night.
And as we were sitting in a booth, and Tristan and Justin were on one side, and me and Marino were on the other. And I was leaning over to help my child with something, and he shoved his fingers in my eye.
Okay.
Which you may be like, oh, whatever, you got something in your eye. I did. Okay, if you ever watched Home Alone, when he's in so much pain that he goes, and then he goes, and screams. That's like what happened. I couldn't. The motions that I was making, I did, like, my body reacted so weird because you can't do anything. Like, when you have a burn and you run and put cold water on it, or you put pressure and, like, things instantly feel better. I was like, I think you put a knife in my eye. Like, there's no reaction. So I finally, like, run to the bathroom.
For the record, I didn't see this happen. I just saw the after effect of you holding your eye. And I thought, once in a great while, you get like that one eyelash in your eye and it really hurts for like a second.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, she must have one of those. But it just didn't go away for you.
No.
And you were crying and you ran to the bathroom.
I ran to the bathroom and I assumed like maybe like because he was eating food and stuff, maybe something bad got in my eye, right? Something gritty, food. So I'm trying to wash my eye out and I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't see.
Ugh.
Blood came out of my eye. So I was having the napkin with the other eye. I could see the blood. And it's just black. My eye's open and I'm seeing black. I have to tell you, that's really scary.
Yeah.
When you're like, my effing vision's gone. Don't like it in the middle of a restaurant.
Only one eye.
Of only one. So I'm like trying to flush my eye out. I'm like, okay, maybe it's more like, kind of when you see stars or something. I'm like, okay, maybe it's fine. Meanwhile, there's people in the bathroom. So I'm like crying and screaming. There's people just washing their hair. It was so uncomfortable, but I didn't know what to do. So it finally calms down a little bit. And then it was just blurry. It was very, very blurry. So I could see that it was light. It wasn't pitch black anymore. And I could see the fuzzies of things, but I couldn't tell you what I was looking at or whatever, just that it was light instead of dark, okay? And I'm like, okay, it's obviously slowly coming back. Maybe I got something really bad in there. And, even when you get an eyelash out or whatever, it sometimes takes a few minutes. It can still kind of hurt, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go sit back down, and I bet progressively over the next, 15 minutes, whatever, I'm going to feel much better. I'm sitting at the table, and my eyes having these spasms, and I'm shaking, and it hurts so effing bad, and the boys are eating their pizza, and I'm like...
It was great pizza, by the way.
I'm like, I didn't want to eat anything, and like, I couldn't look, like, if I lifted my head a certain way, my eye would freak out, and I'm like, I can't. This is a severe level of pain. I was just in tears, like, it wasn't the kind of tears of like, I feel like crying, I'm crying. It was like the...
Pain
tear of like, I can't even control it. Like, there's just tears rolling down my face.
At first, we're just eating our pizza. You were in the bathroom, and I knew you had something in your eye. I figured you're flushing it. Like, I get it, right? When you came back and you weren't getting better, you know, we're eating our pizza and like it's dinner. It's like a celebration dinner. And then, but you're not getting better and you're like crying and you're like in pain. You're screaming. And, you know, honestly, you have a pretty good tolerance for pain. I mean, you gave birth to Marino. He was a bit of a chunk.
And I was a trooper during that. Like, even the nurse was like, "You're nuts," because I was walking the hallway and doing squats and stuff like that. I'm very motivated. Yes.
So you were like in a lot of pain, and like, and then I'm like, okay, how about we get the pizza to go? We'll go home. You're like, no, we're already here. And then I'm realizing this is just not working. I go, hey, I'm gonna have my mom meet us at the house, and then maybe I'll take you to the doctor or the ER.
So she could take over the kids. Yeah, because we had both kids with us. Yeah. So it's like, you know, once you got these kids, it's like this is a lot, and I definitely don't want kids.
You don't want kids?
An ER.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
At the ER, because it's like people go when they're sick and stuff. So I'm not trying to bring a baby in there, and I don't want Tristan to get anything. So it's like it makes it so complicated. But I couldn't see. Yeah. I could not drive myself to a hospital.
As I'm realizing this more and more and more, I call my mom back, and I'm like, Mom, we're going straight to the ER. Like, something's really wrong with her eye. I need you to meet me at the ER. Here's the deal. I wasn't gonna drop her off at the ER because she can't be by herself. So I sent Tristan, our 10-year-old, and he walked you into the ER because I had the baby still. We didn't want to bring the baby in the ER. So
I did not want to expose myself.
I waited in the car with the baby, but Tristan walked you in, and it was so cute. You probably couldn't see it, but
I could not see it.
I watched him get out of the car and like become like a young adult because he put his arms around you and was walking you in. He was so sweet doing this, and it was like I was very, very concerned for you, and it also kind of melted my heart that he was taking such good care of you because he was scared and he was trying to be a comforter for you.
It really bothered him, and it was so sweet. He even said to me, he goes, "Marino, why would you do that? She's the nicest out of all of us." Aww. And I was already crying for other reasons, but it made me want to cry. It was just the sweetest thing in the whole world. Sweet. Love him so much. And I felt so awful because like it was supposed to be this fun night out, and now we're sitting in an ER, and like you always want to make your kids feel better and feel like nothing's wrong. But I couldn't stop crying and shaking. I was in such a level of pain.
I hated it.
But as I was crying and shaking, I go, "Tristan, I'm so sorry, honey," because it was like I wanted to be able to go, "Don't worry, honey, I feel totally fine." I feel like, you know what, when you want to do that.
But you clearly didn't.
But I could. Yeah. I physically couldn't do it. Like I kept trying to make conversation, and then I would just start crying. I was in so much pain, and I go, "I'm so sorry," and he's like, "It's okay. I don't care. I just want you to feel better." And it was so sweet. But I felt awful because you don't, like, your kids look to you like, should I be scared? Should I be mad? Should I be sad? They look to you for what kind of emotions they should be feeling in a moment. And as the reassurance I wanted to give him, I couldn't give him because I was in so much pain.
Well, that's a good point, because I'll never forget when I was 7 years old, it was the first time I saw my dad cry. Like, my dad had never cried in my life, right? And so at 7, his dad, my grandpa, passed away. And I saw my dad cry. And like, as a 7-year-old, I remember being like, oh my God, like, this is so heavy. Like, I've never seen this before. Parents are superheroes. So now Tristan's seeing you crying and screaming and all these different things. That's not normal for him. I mean,
no, because even when I've had bad moments, for your kids, you're like, "It's fine. We're working through this. We're doing." You have those. And I'm like, I can't see. Like, I can't even, like, pat you to make you feel better. It was so bad.
So tell them what the ER diagnosed you with.
Okay, so I waited for several hours. My mother-in-law showed up and swapped out with my 10-year-old. And he got to go home, thank goodness. And it wasn't like I'm a spoiled brat and I need someone there. I couldn't drive. Like, I needed someone to bring me home, and I couldn't see well. Like, even your mother kind of, like, helped me to the room. I couldn't see well. So the girl was like, "Oh, don't worry. It's just a scratched cornea." And I'm like, "Can you give me something for this?" She goes, "No. Once you go home, you're going to take ibuprofen, you're going to take Tylenol, and you put this little ointment on it." She goes, "You will feel so much better once you take the..." And I go, "Listen, I gave birth this year, and I'm telling you, this fucking hurts. So, like, this isn't like, oh, let me take some time. I don't have a headache or something." She goes, "No, I know. They're very sensitive. I'm so sorry, but you take that and you'll feel better." Well, I get home, I take those things, and I think I just spent the night screaming and crying.
It was the worst. Worst.
You picked me up off the floor at one point. I fell on the floor.
It was one of those things where, as a guy, as a husband, you feel helpless because, like, my wife is in so much pain. She's crying. She's screaming. She can't sleep. And then obviously I'm not sleeping either. I'm next to her. But like, there was also nothing I could do to help it. Like I kept bringing you like washcloths and like ice.
To like lay on my eye. Yeah.
But like, what else could I do? Because at the time we didn't even know what it really was. Like we had heard, the ER doctor said you got a scratch on your cornea. Yeah. And it would be fine in the morning. But as the night was going on, I'm realizing it's not getting better. No. It's actually getting worse. And you are screaming and not sleeping. And I'm like, you cannot go to work. Like there's no way you can drive downtown. I can't drive. We got the babies. Like you can't go to work. You're in so much pain. It was a mess. It was probably one of the worst night, if not the worst night I've ever had with you. I felt so bad for you.
It was one of the two most painful things in my life ever were getting my epidural. And we've talked about it on the podcast because I had a back spasm. Ugh. So I had a contraction, a back spasm, and then had an epidural all at the same time. That was the most painful moment of my life. This was number 2. And I'm talking about pushing while giving birth is on that list. That comes in at number 3.
Wow.
It comes in at number 2 because there was nothing you could do. Like, again, you have a burn, you put some ice on it, even if it's really bad. There wasn't an ointment. I was putting ice packs on it and it was just on fire.
I felt so bad.
And so the morning came, like literally very early in the morning, and I looked at I can't do that. Like I have to go back to a doctor. Something's wrong. So you find an ophthalmologist for me to go to.
Yeah, my sister had recommended one. She had some eye problems early in the year, I forget. Yep. And so she loved her eye doctor. So I called him. It was like 6 a.m. No one was available. I left a voicemail and they called back right away when they opened. They opened like at 9 and I got you in like at 9:20, I want to say.
Yes.
And so we go to the eye specialist now. This is like an eye specialist. Mm-hmm. And why don't you tell him how that went?
So I walk in and I can't see well. He has to put these numbing drops in my eye. And that's the first time I had felt relief. And I'm like, can I have those? Is that like a prescription? He goes, no. It goes, numbing eye drops are not allowed to be prescribed because if you abuse them, they can melt your cornea.
Melt your cornea.
And I was like, honestly, I don't even care at this point. Like, I need that cornea. It's not going well for me. But he put those in and I could finally breathe because it numbed my whole eye. And he took these pictures of my eye. And he found out it's not a scratch. It is a hole. So Marino got his finger in and dug out, and there's a hole in my cornea, and there was a literal flap from like what was dangling. And he goes, the reason this hurts to the level it does, and yes, scratches hurt, but they heal really fast because it's surface level. He goes, you have layers into your cornea, so it's not going to heal as fast. And that flap, he goes, imagine like you have skin that got ripped off and someone keeps tugging on the skin. So every time you blink, every time you close your eyes, it's like you're ripping on the cornea skin. That's why your eye's spasming out, all these things. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So we had to dilate my eye. He had to get me antibiotic drops for my eye. He had the numbing drops for my eye. So we went through all this. He goes, I'm going to give you antibiotic drops. And then he put a bandage on my eye. It looks like a contact lens, but it's used to actually bandage. He goes, this way, you're no longer pulling on it. So that's going to help. And I'm like, okay. We did all of those things and I started to feel better. But by the end of that night, I was in severe pain again.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, time out. So let's just be clear. Marino, our little bundle of joy, tore your cornea.
He put a hole in my cornea.
The night we were supposed to be celebrating. You do realize that Marino tore your cornea.
It was accidental.
Now, we never really talked about this personally, but like, do we think he did it on purpose?
No,
yes or no?
I don't think so.
You're sure?
If he's going to hurt either, he loves me. I will say, like, honestly, in his defense, there's been times where he spazzes out and he does stuff. He genuinely just reached for me.
Yeah.
But I was looking down, like, to help him with something. So it went, like, I didn't blink or anything because I wasn't looking at him reaching out. Mm-hmm. So it really just got in there full force, no blink blockage. It was not good.
All right, so he tore your cornea, and now after the eye specialist, you felt better, but now by the end of the night, you're not feeling so good anymore. So
I was not, and I still couldn't open my eye, and it was, I felt like a puffer fish. Like I was like, my face is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's a Saturday, so they're closed. This is the nicest doctor ever. He gave me his personal number because he was concerned. Like he was, listen, if it gets infected, I can't be like closed over the weekend for you. You need to be able to see somebody and not go to an ER.
And it made things more tricky because you were supposed to be flying home to see your parents in Minnesota on Sunday.
This is like Thanksgiving break.
It's the worst time.
Listen, I was supposed to be stressed about having a baby on a plane, not about being able to see the baby on the plane. It was a whole thing. So I'm like freaking out and I text him and I go, I'm in so much pain. like to a level where I'm going to be canceling my flight. And he's like, okay. So nice. He's in sweatpants. Like, this doctor's in sweatpants. He came into the office to see me. Somebody else has to drive me again. I had to call my neighbor to drive me because I could not see.
I was hosting an event.
Yeah, I know.
So explain that. Like, I was. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I wasn't just like, I'm not gonna take you. Like, I was hosting an event.
I called my friend who has become my neighbor, and I go, I'm gonna pull a major friend card right now. Okay, I've gotten you tickets to things. I need you. And she's like, what's going on? And I go, I can't see. I have the baby because you were working an event. So I also had the baby and I couldn't see very well, which was kind of scary. I go, I can't drive myself to this doctor's appointment. I can't watch the baby. She goes, do you need me to watch your baby or to drive you? I go, both. And so she was amazing. She drove with me, watched my baby in the waiting room, then drove me to go get my prescription. She was awesome. But I got to the doctor and I'm like, I'm in so much pain again. I cannot function like this. I can't be a good mom. Like, I'm fully prepared to be uncomfortable. Like you said, I have a really high pain tolerance.
Yeah.
I do not need to feel 100 all the time. I work through sickness. I work through everything. I'm like, I don't care. My issue was, I need to be able to tolerate it. I need
drugs. I need drugs.
Give me drugs. I need everyday things to be tolerable. I need to be able to pick up my child. I need to be able to cook food. Like, I can't see well, whatever. So he goes, actually, what's causing you pain now? I go, son of a bitch. So he goes, you have the bandage over your eye, so it's not the tugging on your eye. He goes, but because of the hole, your eye's, of course, puffy. It's reacting. He goes, but it's getting so puffy, it's putting pressure on your eye. It's like squeezing it. He goes, we need to get your eye less puffy. That's what's going to it's going to like take it off. It's like all this pressure is on your eye. And I'm like, okay. And so he gave me the steroid drop and I felt my face start to depuff as I took it each day. And then that is when the pain actually started to subside. It was the worst several days ever though.
Yeah.
Ever.
Again, our little almost 10-month-old, he tore your cornea. And it was the worst. I mean, you missed your last day of work before Thanksgiving break. You were very, very stressed about even taking that flight to go see your parents.
I was going to cancel.
You were so excited for this trip. You love going back home to Minnesota you go for a week. I drive up on like Tuesday because I have Tristan for a couple days. And so you were so excited. It couldn't have happened at a worse weekend. Thanksgiving's coming up. And so I felt really bad for you. I will say you were a trooper. You were like, I'm flying. Like I'm on Saturday, you felt better. You're like, I'm going to fly on Sunday. That experience was good up until your flight got like delayed. Explain the fact that you're like have a baby for the first time on a plane after he tore your cornea and you want a smooth flight, but you didn't get that, did you?
Okay, so first of all, I've heard all these things about people like going to airports. Like everyone's so nice when you have a little baby and you're traveling alone. Not necessarily. So I went to the airport. I didn't get offered many like, can I help you? Which is fine. Like it's not their job. I'm not saying that, but that like level of kindness didn't necessarily happen. And if you have a kid under 2, you get to board early. It's not a privilege just so you can wrap up your stroller, put all this here and not be in everyone's way. And I was stressed about this because I'm like, I have the baby. I have to collapse my stroller. It goes into 2 pieces, grab my baby, and my baby doesn't stand. Like other people have 2-year-olds and they can stand there, right? And I'm like, where the hell am I going to put him? Like I'm all stressed out. So I'm trying to get on there and there's like one other girl with a stroller and this guy is almost laying in the entryway of when you get on the plane. Like he's laying in it. So I'm trying my hardest to go around him and all of his objects with my stroller. And I lightly roll over his jacket, which is just, I'm at the end of as far as over as I can go before there's a rope. And he huffs and grabs it and glares at me. And I go, well, you could have scooched a little. It was unbelievable. I'm like, I feel like I'm in his room. Okay.
Oh man.
So then we get up there and you have to get bag tags for your stroller. So I'm filling those all out, trying to entertain my baby. And I'm like, what can I do now? So that way when I collapse the stroller, I'm ready. I'm like mapping it out. I don't want to be in anyone's way. I don't want to be the problem. Okay.
Right. Never.
No. This guy, when they go, okay, 2 and under, like little kid.
The privilege, yeah.
He stands up with a kid who looks genuinely like Tristan. Okay. So the kid stood up with his own bag. He was drinking a Mountain Dew. Like, this is a big kid. He looks exactly like Tristan. Mm-hmm. And he cuts in front of me. And the mom and the other mom goes, oh, I'm sorry, sir. It's for 2 and under. He goes, he's a little kid, and walks in front of us as we're trying to get all of our stuff in. I couldn't believe the flight attendants were like, I mean, Listen, I'm fine. I'm not one of those people. If you have like a 3-year-old or a 4, if you have a little kid and you're trying to get on the plane, I don't need to be a stickler on the age. If you're walking on with your snacks with your 10-year-old who's like on his cell phone, you're an asshole. So rude. Chivalry is dead. Chivalry.
It's a tough word.
Is dead. It's gone.
I stay away from that word.
Yeah, chivalry. It's dead. It's gone.
Chivalry. Yeah.
And so that was great. So we get on the plane. Okay. Honestly, Marino's doing really good. I have all these suction cup toys. He's looking out the window. He's like cooing. He's like gaga, goo goo, like, having a ball, but it's all great. Okay. We're taxiing. He likes the movement on the plane. He's excited. Okay. We're going. The lights dim. The engines get loud. He had just had his bottle. His head's on my shoulder, and he's looking out of the window, kind of like chewing on his fingers. And I'm like, he is going to fall asleep.
It's a great feeling.
This is amazing. He's enjoying this. He's subdued, full belly. It has in several minutes. All he's done is chew on his finger and look out the window. And we're like revving up. And someone goes, hey, stop the plane. I need help. And everyone like kind of looks like, what? Because it's a weird thing for someone to say that calmly about themselves. Usually it's like, the person next to me. He just, hey, stop it. I need help. And like people kind of look and he's like, no, I need help. You have to stop the plane. Plane stops. All the lights turn on. People start going to help him. People start going to the bathroom. He was sitting right behind me. And people are like, is it your blood sugar? Is this? He's like, no. He never really gave an answer. We have to go all the way back and get up to a gate again.
Taxi to a gate,
we have to get to a gate, put that thing in park or whatever you do to a plane. I don't know if you put it in park, but that's
probably, yeah.
He walks off with his bags like on his cell phone. He seemed normal. I don't want to be judgy, but it was odd that when nurses on the plane tried to help him, he's like, no. And then just walked off. It was a little weird.
Devil's advocate, maybe like he found out his mom died or something.
Like, maybe it was more of an anxiety thing where he's like, I'm fine. I just need to get off. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I'm like, okay. Well, guess what? All of that woke Marino up and he couldn't settle back down. It's a lot of people because the guy was right behind me. So it's all these people and he's looking around. And then we had to re-wait in line to take off. So now we've been on the plane, this poor baby, for at least an hour and a half and we're not in the air. He starts screaming as if, I'm not kidding, as if I've stabbed him. You want to talk about somebody who needed help? Okay. He starts screaming absolute bloody murder. Now we're getting ready for takeoff. I can't walk around with him. I can't do any of that. I don't even think it would have helped. I think it would have been grabbing people's hats and stuff. So I'm like,
tearing corneas and stuff.
Yeah, he would have grabbed corneas. So I'm like, I know that if I get him into like, kind of like fold it into my chest with a pacifier in his mouth, keep his arms down and rock him, I know he's going to fall asleep. The problem is he's going to fight it first. He gets louder before he gets quieter. Okay, that's just who he is.
You have to like squeeze the awakeness out of him.
You just got to hold him because he grabs his eyes and his hair and he kind of flails. So you have to try to keep his arms down, but then he squirms because of it. So you got to rock. You almost have to like give him like a human swaddle until he passes out, right? So you got to do that for him. For 25 minutes. In the entire time, consistent, top of his lung.
And you guys have not met Marino yet, like in person. He can scream. He can scream with the best of them. I always say, like, even changing diapers, it's like he's being stabbed to death. He's screaming that there's nowhere for him to go. I hope it never happens, but if he ever does get stabbed, there's nowhere for him to go, energy and volume wise. He is full screaming for a diaper change. Yeah, he's a screamer.
He's a screamer. And I have people, and you know what? Go fuck yourself.
Whoa.
I want to say that.
Wow.
To every individual who turned around and glared at me as a mom sweating, trying to rock. I didn't have my kid in a seat and I had my headphones on and I wasn't looking at him. That's a glare moment. Fuck off. Okay.
Wow.
Because I had it in a perfect situation. I did everything I could. I don't know what that was, but I wouldn't have tried to put my baby to sleep had I known that was going to happen. That effed up the whole timing. It effed up the whole sequence. You F up a baby's nap. They're angry about it. And now I have to try to get him back down with full lights, full stimulation, no bottle because he drank it. I'm on a plane. I don't have a backup. I couldn't pop 2 more ounces in that thing. Sorry about it, but fuck you with your noise canceling headphones and movie and your little effing snack. And it's like, well, my day's not absolutely perfect now. I don't care.
How
dare you?
With a 3 F-bomb. Wow.
Sorry, I'm having a Steve Martin Tracy's Automobiles moment, but it's like that. Like it's so messed up because whenever I saw Mom, like pre me having kids, and I was on a plane, you have headphones, you have a movie, you hear a kid screaming. Maybe in the old days pre-headphones because it's like, oh, what am I going to do about this? But it's like, do you think they're enjoying themselves?
Right.
No. As long as you see somebody putting in effort, it's only frustrating to me when a parent lets something just go. They're like, oh, whatever, my kid's here. You're just going to have to deal with it. That's messed up. You need to help. You need to try your best. If you see a mom sweating and rocking her baby and you have the audacity to glare as if this is a hobby of mine, and as if you probably sucked as a baby. You were the worst baby ever and nobody wanted you there. Fuck you, okay?
Wow,
so
four F-bombs. All right.
I couldn't believe nobody was nice about it. Everybody was mean about it.
For the record, we did our little heads up of what we're going to talk about. And this plane situation wasn't even one of the worst parts of her couple weeks, but it's turning into another example of how these past 2 weeks have sucked for you. I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You landed safely.
Yep.
Had a great trip in Minnesota with your parents and your family. I met you guys on Tuesday. Everything was cool. We get back to Chicago on Sunday. On Monday, we have insurance, like a glass company, come out to fix your windshield because you drive downtown every single day.
Yes.
And you had one little crack, not like a dent or whatever.
Yeah, like a chip.
A chip. There it is, a chip.
Yeah.
One chip, but then the second chip you got, then it turned into like a big crack right down the middle.
Kind of like the tree of life.
Yes.
It's not good.
So I had it scheduled for the Monday we returned to have your windshield swapped out. No big deal because anything for my girl, whatever I can do to help you. They came to us.
And I was feeling good about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, great, because it's been making me nervous because as I drive, I've watched it grow.
Yeah.
And that just, I'm like, I'm going to hit a bump and it's just going to fall in on me. So
yeah,
I was really happy.
So Monday of this week, we got you a brand new windshield, a replacement. It looks beautiful. It's clean. They just said, please don't get a car wash for 2 days. No problem.
No problem. I barely do it anyways.
What could go wrong?
Nothing. I got in it. So that got changed after I got home from work. So I worked Monday, got home. They changed it at 4 p.m. So the first time I drove my car was 4 a.m. on my way to work.
Tuesday morning.
And about 4 seconds on the highway, I hear this huge noise. And honestly, it's so dark out at that time. I'm like, I don't know, there's a semi drive by me. And sometimes a rock hits your windshield and it doesn't crack. Right. So I heard that tink, but I couldn't see anything because it is pitch black out. And I'm like, okay, something maybe just, ricocheted. Well, when I'm driving home from work and it's light out, it's an even bigger crack than was there the day before. And it's right down the middle of the windshield. And it's also continued to grow. So I only drove my car for, realistically, I'm not going to exaggerate. I'm not going to be half a second. I'm not going to say, for about 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Until my windshield broke again.
So, okay, so here's the deal. So we...
So I came home and I go, you're not going to fucking believe it. And he goes, what? And I go, my windshield broke. He goes, haha, very funny. I go, my windshield broke.
I thought she was joking. I really did.
He goes, this is a joke? I go, it's not a joke. My life's a joke. Absolutely, but this is not one.
So we got her windshield replaced on Monday, and then on Tuesday, 4 minutes into her drive, it cracked again. Even worse than the first time. Now,
it is worse.
It's
is.
my job to call the insurance company and explain this, horrible coincidence.
I go, do they have at least a 24-hour warranty? That's what I asked you.
But it wasn't. I have a question. Do you follow semis when you're driving downtown?
No,
do you get behind semis and kind of
I'm driving from Elgin to Chicago every day. There's a shitload of semis. I know. Nonstop.
So I'm going to say one thing and then I'm going to back you up with one thing, okay? I know what you're saying. You're commuting every day. I get it. I commuted every day from here for 5 years to the same building that you're working at, or right around there actually. For 5 years, never once did I have a cracked windshield, okay? Fine, I'm lucky, right?
Yeah, you're lucky.
I will say,
we've covered that.
I will say you doing it now for 2 years in your car. You took the train before, okay? In your car for 2 years. It's happened to you, a chip, a crack, and now a crack. I will say what I've heard is you have a Jeep Wrangler. I've heard that Jeeps, the windshields are more upright. So that's maybe why.
Because yours kind of angles. I bet it launches off of it.
Yeah, it just cascades off my windshield.
Yeah, of course it is.
No, but I've heard, I have to back you up a little bit. I've heard that Jeeps house, the windshields are kind of like more upright.
It is. It's like a square.
So that's why I believe they're more susceptible to like, I guess, chips and whatever.
Yeah, because they're not. That makes sense. Because the rock maybe would roll up, but it literally hits you. Like, it just, boom, there's nowhere for it to go.
So that sucks. I didn't know. I'll be honest, the first time on Monday, it was free for us. It was in our insurance. Like, we got a free windshield replacement. So I called Tuesday, the day after they did this. And I'm like, hey, you're not going to believe this. But bad luck for us. I will say our insurance company, it's going to be free again. They're coming out tomorrow, actually, coming out. And they're going to replace it again. I didn't even dare ask, like, how many of these do we get? 'Cause that's a horrible question to ask somebody. Like, they're gonna drop us. Yeah. But they're gonna come out and replace the whole windshield for free again. I don't know if our deductible goes up or it's just all included. I don't know. But like, I would really prefer if this never happens again.
No, this won't happen. But I'll get in a rollover car accident on Saturday.
Don't say that.
Sure.
Don't say that. That's not nice.
It's not. That's not nice. It's not you.
Yeah, but don't even like put that out there in the world.
Oh my gosh, cool. Totaled.
So this all happened literally in about a 2-week span. Our bundle of joy, 10-month-old, tore your cornea. You had a hell flight to Minnesota. You ruined your windshield one day after it was replaced.
And I'm not seeing Shakira this weekend.
And you're not seeing Shakira this weekend. I mean, that has to be all that's bad that's happened to you these past couple of days, right?
I think so. Oh wait, no.
Look outside. For those that don't,
this one makes me want to cry.
Let me set this up for those that are, if you're from Chicago, if you're listening from the Chicago area, we're recording this podcast on Wednesday. What is it? December 4th. This has been the windiest day I can ever remember being in this house. I've been in this house for 10 years. You've been in here for about 5 years. This is the windiest I've ever seen it outside. It's crazy. It's almost like we're in a freaking hurricane or something. It's nuts. Is it hurricane wind? Yeah, right?
Yeah. It's winds.
Sorry. Well, I don't know, like different.
So did tornado. A lot of things that got wind.
That's true. Yeah. But it's so windy outside. I couldn't even believe I stepped outside to do something and I almost got knocked over. So that's the backdrop here of what's about to happen. It's very, very, very windy in the Chicagoland area. Now, what is making you sad, Kenzie?
I'm actually sad about this. It's not even funny. I love holidays. I go a little overboard when I decorate for Halloween, and I go a little overboard when I decorate for Christmas. And I like to add one thing each year to keep it like in check, right? We're not going to go spend $1 billion each year, but I like to add and have like this little collection. And this year we added something outside. I was really excited about it. It's from Costco. It was a family of 4 snowmen, and it was a mom and a dad. And then honestly, like kind of like a tween-sized snowman and then a baby-sized snowman. Yeah. So it was really like our family. Yeah. And we were so excited about it. And they look so cute. We needed something taller like that in the corner. And again, I love adding one thing a year. That's kind of my treat. I truly don't go like nuts with, I bought 47 new decorations. Like I don't do that. So this was like a little treat of like my holiday splurge.
Well, it was also an expensive little treat, but it was perfect. It was perfect. It really was.
But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I do one thing though. Like it's always within reason. I don't buy that. And then like 47 other things. So it's within reason.
Today you're like around probably like 5 o'clock. You're like, hey babe, the dad, me is like bending over, like he's like.
I said he looked like Fat Joe. He's leaning back.
He's leaning back, right? So if by the way, go to our socials at Kenzie and Roman. You can see what they look like and everything. So the dad was definitely leaning back. It was so windy outside that the snowman was leaning back, just the dad. Now I will say I set these things up and I had 4 stakes in each snowman to the ground. So I wasn't concerned with it blowing away. I'm like, well, I know it's in the ground pretty hard, you know. And so I go out there and I'm like, yeah, it's weird. It's like the 3, you and the boys are super upright. Yeah. They're blowing, but like upright. And I'm like leaned back. I'm like, oh, it's weird. So I bring it back and then I make sure all the stakes are still in the ground. They are. I just kind of make it a little tighter and the chain, whatever, this is boring talk, but I made it a little tighter. Okay, we're all good. It's all to the good. Come inside. I'm like, babe, it is so windy outside. Holy cow, but I think I fixed it, right? Within 20 minutes, daddy goes down. I mean, like, the daddy snowman is broke. I'm like, what the hell? I go out there, and then now I'm getting blown everywhere. I mean, it's so windy. It's so strong. And the pole that...
The metal pole.
The metal
that
pole
holds them up.
that was affixed to the base, right? It just broke. It snapped. Like the wind just
Like
knocked
a
it back.
huge metal pole snap. Like it's a big, thick metal stake.
Yeah. It
snapped from wind.
It snapped. I mean, the wind is that strong. And I'm like, so I come in, I go, hey, babe, this sucks. I mean, the good news is it's still lit up, but like it.
That's not the good. It looks like we shot him in the front yard.
Yeah, Daddy,
it's lit up on the ground.
Daddy's dead, right? So I'm like, I talked to Costco and their customer service. They're always very, very nice. And they go, hey, we have the manufacturing info. Why don't you hit them up tomorrow when they're open, see what they can do? Because Costco's out of these things. Like I can return it for a refund, but we can't get another one because they're out of them. So
I like them.
I'm gonna call the manufacturer tomorrow. I'm glad I waited because we did a funny little video. Again, you can see it all on Kenzie and Roman on our socials. And Mommy was good. Tristan was good, Marino was good, but Daddy was down. Well, since we posted that video, Mommy is also down. Mommy has cracked at the base. Mommy and Daddy are both
what kind of
dead.
metal? And you better handle customer service tomorrow. What kind of metal poles snap like this in the wind? What kind? Because they're not. Here's my beef with it. The snowman cover isn't heavy, so it's not a weight leaning on them. It's like literally paper thin. So just this metal stand. A metal pole should not be snapping in half. And maybe if these were a couple years old and they'd been through a lot and been outside, these are brand new.
Less than a month
They've been
old.
outside for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What is happening? What kind of metal is this?
It sucks. I mean, and then it took a while to set them up. I don't want to take them all apart, bring it to Costco. And again, it'd be fine. We got our money back. But like the whole point was it looks perfect in our yard. It's our family represented. But like Mommy and Daddy are dead. And we have to accept that.
No. I was really sad about it.
It sucks. I'm looking, our studio actually overlooks the front yard. And I'm looking right now like Mommy and Daddy are both lit up, but just down.
And it's embarrassing because they are lit up. So everyone's like fix your effing decorations.
Well, no, it's not embarrassing because it is so windy outside. And I'll tell you why it's not embarrassing. I'll tell you actually what is embarrassing. My neighbor texts me and like, okay, let me go back a little bit. Years ago, when I had Tristan as a baby, I built a wall outside of my house.
You hired someone to build a wall.
Sorry, I hired someone. I had a wall built.
Sorry. I just need to clarify.
I had a wall built so that way I could put the garbage cans up against this wall and it blocks it from street level. HOA approved it.
HOA needs a wall to be there. You can't have your garbage cans wherever anyone can see them.
Yeah, for sure. So I had this wall built. It was great. And once I found out like diapers stink so much, I'm like, I don't want that in my garage. So I had it outside. All to the good. I've been here. Well, Tristan was born in 2014. That's when I bought the house, actually. So, like, ultimately, about 10 years, garbage cans have been outside. Never, ever, ever been a problem. But, like I said, these winds are insanely strong. Never felt it before. My neighbor texts me, goes, hey, by the way, your recycling can is knocked over and your recyclables are all over the neighborhood. And I'm like, what? I run outside, and sure enough, the blue bin is down for the count, just almost as bad as Daddy and Mommy Snowman.
Oh my God. Everything's breaking.
And I felt horrible. All of our recyclables are just flying everywhere. Like they're in his yard, the next neighbor's yard. Across from us, we have kind of like a wooded area. It's like all of our milk bottles. And I'm like, oh my God.
And we're good people. We recycle.
Yeah, we recycle.
And now this is the exact opposite of recycling.
There was this. We actually recycle a lot.
This is like
we probably recycle too much.
Realize.
Yeah, we're big recyclers. So I'm out there. It's windy as hell. It's cold.
You're chasing it.
It's
Is it
dark.
blowing away from you?
I have a garbage bag and I'm chasing everything I see. And oh my God. I actually literally found throughout like the neighborhood here a full garbage bag of recyclables that are ours that I put back into the bin. I put the bins in the garage, and I actually posted on our neighborhood Facebook page. I feel bad about it because also like our mail with like our address, they're gonna know it's us. I can't just be like, oh, I don't know who that is. It's
medical
us.
bills for my eye.
Yeah, honestly, your medical bills, like literally everything, it points back to us. I had to accept it. I'd be like, hey guys, it's us. I had to claim this, and so I'm super apologetic. I feel really bad about it. I'm like, listen, I grabbed the whole garbage bag of recyclables. I put it back in the bin. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning, crack of dawn, and I'm going to go back out there when I can see more, because obviously nighttime it's hard. When the sun's up tomorrow, I'm going to go out there again with the garbage bag and pick up more stuff, go through the woods across the street from us, because a lot of it got stuck in there. I do feel really bad. If you know anything about me, and Kenzie will back me up on this, I am very much like an environmentalist in a way, where like we have Earth Day. I'm a big believer in cleaning up our neighborhood. We go to the ponds.
Yeah.
I got those sticks, so I go the grabbers, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Like I'm a big person that believes and tries to rally the troops to kind of like clean up our neighborhood. And here we are fucking
we're fucking it up. We fucked our neighborhood
up. Our
up.
recyclables are everywhere because of this damn wind.
It's damn it. Mother Nature, you bitch.
Now that is embarrassing. Me out there freaking. Oh man, it stinks.
Well, okay, I have one question.
Oh man, what?
Did you get me a different birthday gift because my like concert got canceled?
Oh, we are out of time. It is. Look at that, babe. We just cracked the time.
You really are gonna give me I can't believe you.
Next episode, I think we talk about it. But like we are out. They're wrapping us.
No one's wrapping us. We're the only people in this room.
They're wrapping us.
That's so mean.
Oh, you get whatever you want, babe. You know that.
No, I don't. That's at all.
You get whatever.
This is news to me.
You get whatever you want because you cannot spell Roman without romance. No, I messed it up. Oh my God. Because you can't spell romance without Roman.
Not good.